Welcome back to Cat Recap. On a cool, moonlit night, a black car pulls over on a quiet road, the door slowly opens, and Emmett and his wife are gunned down in a brutal hail of bullets. On another dark night, the killer responsible for Emmett's death falls into Mike's hands. Smirking, the guy taunts that the cops have no evidence to hold him, but he's not ready for what the police say next. "We're not here to arrest you." "What? You're not cops? Come on, lock me up." All talk, no proof. 3 officers point their guns at the killer. And then in the name of justice, they break the rules again. With Rabbit gone, Banshee settles back into a fragile piece. Carrie, now divorced, works as a waitress in a diner. Mike and Anna grow closer than ever. After Emmett's death, the sheriff's department gets a new face, Ruin, a cop from Chino who volunteered to transfer here, escaping his ties to the Chino tribe. Meanwhile, Chayton and his crew are plotting in secret. For years, their tribe has been exploited and oppressed by outsiders. Done with living like slaves, Chayton vows to take back their land. "It's time we fight back." At a Marine Corps base, a massive stash of cash is stored. A truck loaded with money is set to move out today. Enter Chayton, bow and arrow in hand, blocking the road. "We're the Marines, stand down now." Mayday, we're under attack. A fierce firefight erupts, the soldiers are quickly taken out. Mike gets the distress call and rushes to the scene, only to be met with a brutal assault. The cops are powerless as Chayton drives off with the loot. Later, Mike visits the Marine base to get answers. The colonel in charge doesn't hold back, leading him to a storage room and spilling the truth. The plan was to clear this space for weapons smuggled from a war zone. But what Mike sees next stops him cold. A warehouse stuffed with cash, spoils from missions, hoarded to fund wars. Instantly, Mike's mind races with a plan to steal it. Leaving the base, he calls Sugar, laying out the heist like it's a golden ticket. The security's tight, but for a hacker like Job, cracking their system is child's play. After taking down Rabbit, Job stayed in New York, chasing big scores. But now he's in deep trouble. "You're staring down a gun barrel, let's see you outrun my bullet." Even a top-tier hacker like Job gets cornered. Some thugs try to force him into a shady job, but Job's got tricks up his sleeve.
"That's it? You're in?"
Oh no, that's just the signal.
"Signal? What signal?"
Get the money! Go get it!
The man with the cash-filled briefcase sprints off, pulling a grenade from the bag, but as he's about to throw it,
Bollocks.
the money's gone, and the plan's a bust. Meanwhile, Mike's on the phone, sharing good news with someone. Job's not thrilled, until Mike mentions $800,000 to $1 million in cash. Unable to resist, Job heads back to Banshee. The next day, the crew gathers at the bar to plan. Job hacks the system with ease, tracing the money's origins. It's dirty cash from unreported ops. Turns out, the Marine colonel is a wolf in sheep's clothing, running the whole scheme. When Carrie hears this, she tenses up. After her divorce, she's been blowing off steam, including a murky fling with the colonel. That night, when he shows up at her place, she shuts him down, unwilling to let personal feelings derail the plan. Their relationship ends there. Elsewhere, Proctor meets some players at a slaughterhouse. They're all in the white flower trade. After Proctor's factory was bombed and shut down, rivals snatched his market share. He wants a deal to take it back, but his rival's son doesn't respect him. "We're not giving it back." "What did you say?" "Shut your mouth. Heard you used to be a big shot, not anymore."
Does he?
Mark, shut
Rebecca, Proctor's daughter, loses it, but Proctor stays calm, even handing her a gun.
Finish what you started.
In a mansion, a man's cleaning up, but he's no janitor, he's a thug holding stolen goods. It's Nora, the chief's sister. After her brother's death, she's back with the tribe, hell-bent on killing Proctor for revenge.
"First, I'm gonna kill you. Then I'm going inside, and I'm gonna slowly gut your boss and his little house on the prairie niece."
I don't think so.
A brutal fight breaks out. Nora's relentless, but Proctor's right-hand man has no intention of letting her walk away. After a bloody brawl, Nora lands a final blow but falls to her death. She came for vengeance but ended up dead. Meanwhile, a stranger sneaks into Mike's attic, an FBI agent investigating Detective Jim's disappearance. The agents found Jim's body and dug up Mike's file. Knowing everything, the church fight with Rabbit, Mike's fake sheriff badge. They plan to haul him to Federal HQ for questioning. On the way, Mike fights back. "You know what? I changed my mind." "About what?" "I'm not going to New York." "Like you've got a choice." "I always have a choice." But the hunter becomes the hunted. Mike wakes up locked in a truck, then tied to a chair next to another captive detective. A hulking man steps in.
My name is Raymond Walton Brantley.
Brantley. That's the guy you stole the money off, right?
Look, I saw some shit I wasn't supposed to see. Brantley's a paranoid.
Mike remembers Brantley's Jason's creditor. But his real target isn't Mike, it's the real sheriff, Jason's dad. "Where's Jason?" "No idea who you're talking about." "Really?" "Yup. If I were you, I'd at least pretend to think you're not even trying." Brantley slips on electric gloves, zapping Mike to force answers about Jason's whereabouts. Even after the shocks, Mike stays silent.
Now or never, mystery man.
Under torture, Mike finally cracks, telling the fat man he killed Sheriff Hood and his son Jason, stealing $62,000. The cash is at his place, every penny accounted for. The fat man decides to go with Mike to grab it, ordering his goons to deal with the detective. 2 henchmen drag the detective out of the van, only a babysitter's left inside, and at that moment, meanwhile, the detective's digging his own grave. As the goons prepare to finish him, Mike swoops in, saving his life. Turns out, the detective was only looking for Detective Jim, not tied to the FBI's probe into Mike. He swears not to rat Mike out to his bosses. But then he does something dumb, leaves Mike's real identity file where anyone can find it. When Mike gets back, it's too late. Anna's seen the file and knows he's a fraud. Betrayed by someone she trusted, she shuts him out, refusing to hear explanations. In the end, they go their separate ways. Back at the bar, Mike spills everything to Job's sure Anna will expose him and urges Mike to skip town fast. But Mike's not ready to run. He wants to clear things up with Anna. The next day, Anna's gone, no sign of her, no answer on her phone. Caught in a mess, Mike decides to leave with Job. That night, he visits Carrie to say goodbye. It's tough, but he knows leaving is the best move. On the way back, Mike makes a big call, one last job before he bolts. Alone, he storms Proctor's club. For justice, Mike takes on Proctor's empire single-handedly, determined to burn it to the ground. After a brutal fight, both sides take heavy hits. Mike breaks the rules again, using violence to settle things. Luckily, Officer Robert shows up, saving Proctor's life. Acting as a criminal investigator, Robert hauls Mike back to the station. At the same time, a stranger named Kurt walks in, a former thug turned straight. Kurt wants to be a cop. He hands Mike his resume and waits for a response. At the station, Mike's crew locks Proctor up. Proctor's lawyer argues Mike's actions were illegal. Proctor stays quiet, despite once saving Mike's life. As a cop, Mike can't let Proctor run wild in Banshee. Then Anna shows up. Mike's at a loss for words. She says she won't expose him but urges him to quit as sheriff. She won't cover for a fake. What's next? Next, you leave Banshee. Suddenly, Chayton and his crew surround the station. The surprise attack sends everyone into a panic. As the gang moves in, Mike activates the defense system. The desk officer calls for backup, but the signal's been cut. Kurt grabs a gun and steps up, ready to fight. Take out anyone who gets in. Fake sheriff or not, Mike's ready to die for the town. Chayton offers a deal, hand over Proctor and Officer Billy, and he'll spare the rest. Mike hesitates but refuses to cave. Chayton, unsatisfied, launches another assault. In the chaos, the lawyer grabs the cell keys, trying to free Proctor, but a stray bullet kills him. A female officer freezes in terror. A criminal grabs her, but Proctor busts out of his cell and takes the guy down. A man stands at the door, risking his life to hold the last line of defense. Outside, the criminals press hard. Under heavy fire, the station's crew is at fate's mercy. Mike and Proctor set aside their feud, facing Chaden in a do-or-die stand. The station's doors start to give. But Chaden's attack is stalled. Losing patience, Chaden pushes harder. Mike's done waiting. He charges out to face Chaden's crew, but Proctor makes a choice. With no way out, he's betting his life, vowing to save the others. "If I die, you stay away from Rebecca. Deal. If I live, you and I settle our score." Mike leaves it to fate, hoping Proctor pulls through. Anna sees Mike in a new light, empathizing with his past from 15 years ago. She changes her mind, wanting him to stay as sheriff. Anna's fallen hard for Mike. Meanwhile, Billy tries to negotiate with Chaden. To Chaden, the cop who killed his brother doesn't deserve mercy.
Haven't you killed enough people already?
Chaden's men storm in. With the team's protection, Mike's group takes out the enemies. But as Mike pursues, Anna's taken hostage. He drops his gun, begging Chaden to let her go. Instead, Chaden slits her throat in front of him. Police sirens blare. Chaden and his crew retreat. Mike, racked with guilt, holds Anna's body. Their dreams of a future together vanish. Elsewhere, Proctor returns home but misses his mother's final moments. The pain of losing family is unbearable. All he can do is pray for her. At the funeral, Rebecca's parents, regretting disowning her, beg her to return. But Rebecca's heart is closed. "I can't forgive you." Amy, the ex-wife of a deputy, enters Proctor's room. She's been caring for his mother and grows close to him. Amy's there when Proctor needs comfort most. A Native American gang attacks the station, killing an innocent female officer. After the incident, the FBI sends a task force, confirming Chaden's crew is behind it. The task force finds their hideout in the dense forest and plans an immediate strike, barring local cops, especially Mike, from interfering. Meanwhile, Proctor's business partner visits the club. To monopolize the drug trade, they demand double the order and no deals with other gangs. For long-term gain, Proctor agrees. Rebecca's pissed, thinking it'll cost them partners. Proctor insists trust is key in business. They seal the deal. Meanwhile, the task force preps their strike, ready to nab Chaden, but they don't know Mike and Job are already deep in the forest, hell-bent on avenging Anna. Mike wants to take Chaden down himself. They take out the guards at the entrance with ease, sneaking into Chaden's tent undetected. He's fast asleep. Mike doesn't want to give him an easy death. He holds a dagger to Chaden's throat. As Chaden's eyes snap open,
Move in!
the task force storms forward, but Chaden slips away in the chaos. Mike gives chase. Darting through dense woods, Chaden leaps off a cliff, escaping Mike's grasp once again. Back at the bar, Job gears up for action. He's hacked the military's surveillance, but to get into the vault, they need the colonel's fingerprints and voice. Meanwhile, Carrie meets the colonel at a diner. They're all flirty, but he doesn't know Carrie's already swiped his prints and voice sample like it's nothing. Rebecca makes a bold move, secretly selling drugs to a Philly gang to cut Proctor's losses. She meets their leader. "I like you, girl. But if you double-cross me, your uncle will be picking up your pieces. Here's to a long, profitable partnership." A woman heads to her barn, but bloodstains on the ground catch her eye. Suddenly, Chaden appears. "Shut up, or I'll kill you." As he tries to take her, she doesn't run. Instead, she patches up his wounds. Widowed, childless, and once suicidal, she's not afraid to die. She lets Chaden stay and even cooks him dinner, but then
Lisa, you in there?
Chaden tenses, thinking she's betrayed him. It's just her neighbor, inviting her for dinner. Lisa plays it cool, shooing him away. But as he turns, he spots the blood and gets suspicious. Too late, Chaden's ruthless. The next day, Chaden drives off in Lisa's car, leaving her brutally murdered in the barn. At the bar, the crew's ready to move. Their target, the military base. They drive close, where a tunnel leads inside. Mike's team slips through, leaving Sugar in the van. They take out the guards and reach the vault door. Job uses gloves with the Colonel's prints and mimics his voice. The vault opens, revealing a massive safe. Carrie, a pro, cracks it open with ease. Millions in cash stare back. Sugar, on the other end, grins like a kid. They grab a big bag, ready to haul it all, but Sugar spots trouble. The Colonel's back at the base, trying to enter the vault. He finds his prints don't work. Checking the system, he's shocked. Records show he already entered. Sensing a setup, he barks. Send a team to the vault now. How many? Everyone. The military surrounds the vault, but when they bust in, it's empty. The cash is gone. Mike's crew slips out through a back exit, vanishing without a trace. The next day, the cops tip Mike off. Chaden's in New Orleans. Mike plans to go alone, but the deputy sheriff steps up. I'm killing him with you. They head to New Orleans on a revenge mission. Armed, they trek through dense woods and spot a house. A cigarette butt on the ground catches Mike's eye. Hey, what? Hold up. A group bursts from the house, guns aimed, surrounding them. You trespass on my turf, better have a damn good reason. Mike proves who he is, saying they're after Chaden. The guy admits Chaden was here but doesn't want trouble. He gives Mike an address where Chaden might be. Unsure if it's a trap, Mike clings to hope and follows the deputy. At a rowdy underground fight club, mercenaries bet on life or death matches. Mike and the deputy arrive, hunting Chaden. A heavyweight steps into the ring. Seeing him, Mike stays cool, but his eyes burn with vengeance. They lock eyes, radiating killer instinct. Mike's thrown into the ring. The death match begins. Chaden, a seasoned fighter, dominates. But the deputy shouts, Chaden, freeze. He flashes his badge, but the club's boss doesn't care. Thugs point guns at him. They won't shoot a cop, but they don't back down either. The boss stops the fight. Worried about escalating, the deputy pulls Mike out, vowing to find another shot at Chaden. But Chaden comes to them. Both men want the other dead. A brutal hand-to-hand fight leaves them bloodied. You're nothing. You're no match for me. Chaden leaps from a balcony. Mike chases. Exhausted, Chaden stops. Mike doesn't hesitate, aiming his gun. Revenge taken, they dump Chaden's body in the river and walk away like badasses. Meanwhile, the Colonel digs up a lead and strikes back. Armed men raid the ranch, brazenly kidnapping Proctor and Amy. Speeding off, Rebecca watches helplessly as her uncle's taken. Proctor's dragged to an abandoned stadium and beaten to a pulp. A man steps in, the biggest gang lord in Philly. Proctor's partner, Rebecca's secret drug deal with another crew threatens his market. Proctor's clueless but doesn't explain. He offers cash to settle it.
I want to hear him scream.
Rebecca runs to the station, begging Mike for help. He refuses, not caring if Proctor lives or dies. As she leaves in despair, she meets the deputy and tells him about Proctor and Amy's kidnapping. Though divorced, the deputy still loves Amy. He pleads with Mike. I've gone through hell for you more than once. I'm begging you this time. Mike relents. He calls Job, ordering him to track Proctor's location as soon as possible. Police, drop your weapons. Mike and the deputy storm the stadium. Fearless, Mike states his purpose. No innocent people get hurt. He demands the boss release Amy, promising not to meddle in his beef with Proctor. The boss, wary of clashing with the sheriff, agrees. Let the girl go. Amy, let's move. No, I'm not leaving. Get out. Proctor doesn't want Amy caught in the crossfire, but he's at fate's mercy. As they leave, Rebecca arrives with a bodyguard. Learning Proctor's in danger, the bodyguard ditches his glasses and charges in. The boss leaves a lighter, orders his men to finish Proctor, and bolts. A goon douses Proctor with gasoline. Just then, Rebecca and the bodyguard bust in, saving Proctor. From this moment, he's done with God and swears his enemies will pay in blood. Elsewhere, the Colonel hits the bar alone, ready for revenge. thieves raided the military base, cleaning out the cache, but tech traced Sugar and Job via facial recognition. The Colonel confronts Sugar, who doesn't flinch. "You want us both screwed. I never lose." Job walks in.
Joe!
Job's a legend, and the tech's a fan, but Job doesn't see the sedative coming. He collapses, eyes glassy. Meanwhile, Carrie's nabbed by the military and taken to the base's vault. She and Job meet in the worst way. The Colonel cuts to the chase, demanding she name her accomplices. To protect Mike, their last hope, Carrie stays silent. Mike returns to the bar, finding it empty except for military shell casings. His worst fears are confirmed. The tech, thrilled to have caught his idol, gloats. "Job, you're a goldmine. I'm milking every dime out of you." Mike storms the base alone, confronting the Colonel and confessing everything, but he's prepared, threatening to tip off military command if his friends aren't freed in 30 minutes. The Colonel, knowing exposure would ruin him, hesitates but demands a cash for hostages deal. Confirming his friends are safe, Mike leaves. Meanwhile, Rebecca's reckless move dragged Proctor into danger. He doesn't blame her, instead heading to Philly for blood. Proctor's crew meets another gang, offering a greeting gift to team up against Philly's biggest mob. Mike gears up for a solo fight, planning to slaughter at the base. Carrie's husband appears, joining Mike to take down the Colonel. A man enters the mob boss's turf, calmly removes his glasses, and starts a massacre. Meanwhile, Mike and Carrie's husband hit the base, launching a fierce assault. The surprise attack catches the Colonel off guard. He orders the hostages brought out, but at the vault.
Where are they?
I don't know.
They coordinate inside and out, fighting through smoke and fire. The Colonel grabs Carrie, duking it out. The last military sniper's taken out, but Carrie's husband takes a bullet. Carrie becomes the Colonel's trump card. Cornered, he's out of moves. Mike can't let history repeat, but as he hesitates, Carrie's husband fires. Carrie finishes the Colonel herself. Her husband, fatally wounded, dies saving her. Then Job's hit with a twist.
Started up, I'm on my way.
Too late, Mike watches Job get airlifted away, powerless. Due to the base's fire, the investigation bureau steps in. Mike's summoned for questioning. As the deputy thinks he's worried, Mike makes a big call. He quits as sheriff, hands over his badge, and leaves, unsure where to go or what to do. For Job, he has no choice. Mike's on his own now. Proctor's crew takes out the mob's turf, set to wipe out Philly's biggest gang. Proctor finds Mike in a loft. Both ruthless, they live by their own codes. Their feud ends. "Sheriff gig's not for you." "Yeah, you're right." Officer Brock investigates a string of serial killings. He finds a cabin in the woods. Inside, he sees a familiar yet strange face. Thinking Mike had skipped town, Brock's shocked to find him. For 2 years, Mike's lived off the grid, hiding from his past. Brock brings him back to Banshee's station. The place has changed. Anna's photo hangs on the wall, a mere memorial. Brock's now sheriff. A serial killer's loose in town, and Rebecca's one of the victims. Her car's GPS shows she visited Mike's cabin before her death, making him a suspect. Mike denies it, saying he hasn't seen Rebecca in ages. The cabin belongs to Proctor. He tells Brock to investigate Proctor instead. But Proctor's different now, Banshee's mayor, controlling both the town's light and dark sides. Proctor put Rebecca in charge of the drug trade, never expecting her murder. There's no trace of the killer. Back at the cabin, Mike sits dazed. A flashback rewinds 2 years. After Job vanished, Mike drowned in booze, even contemplating death to escape pain. At his lowest, Rebecca showed up, unable to watch him crumble. She brought him to the cabin, urging him to pull himself together and start fresh. That moment gave Mike a spark of warmth, but Rebecca's brutal murder hits him hard again. He heads to Sugar's bar. His sudden return shocks Sugar, who thinks Mike's after his cut of the cash. But Mike only wants one thing. "I need a car." Sugar takes him to a warehouse, handing over his prized ride. Mike drives to where Rebecca was killed, only finding her killer will ease his pain. Proctor meets Mike, both driven by one goal: find Rebecca's killer fast. Meanwhile, Brock visits Carrie's new place, filling her in on Mike. After her husband's death, Carrie's been living alone. Her in-laws took custody of her kid, leaving her in quiet solitude. 2 years ago, they hunted for Job but found nothing. Convinced he was dead, Mike gave up and walked away from the bar. Now, after 2 years, he's back, kicking off his revenge quest. A disheveled girl sits on a bed, begging for mercy. "Please, don't. I'm begging you, stop." Cut. Prep the next scene. It's a secret film set. As they set up the next shot, Sheriff Brock and his team bust in, shutting it down. With a serial killer targeting young women in town, Brock hauls the crew in for questioning. Back at the station, Brock finds Proctor waiting. He wants updates on Rebecca's case and demands daily reports. Brock hates it but complies. Proctor's the mayor. Mike visits Carrie, stunned to learn she's been searching for Job for 2 years with no luck. Still, she won't quit. That day, Carrie meets Mike, bringing an old New York buddy of his. The friend stole personnel files from Banshee's military base. Their investigation reveals everyone from the base is dead, except Leo, who's missing. Mike sees Leo's photo, certain he's the one who took Job. Elsewhere, Leo's teaching a computer class. When he spots familiar faces, he bolts. Halfway out, he's ambushed. They drag him to the bar.
Stop! The boy can't talk if he ain't conscious. Give me a sugar a minute.
After some rough interrogation, Leo spills. Job's locked in a secret prison, off the government's radar, impossible to access. The only way to free him is a ransom. In a pinch, Sugar pulls out the cash stolen from the military base, ready to use it all for Job. Mike has Leo call the captors, setting a time and place for the deal. The next day, a black car pulls into an abandoned factory. Job, imprisoned for 2 years, steps out, looking like hell but finally free. Seeing Mike, he loses it. As they prepare to leave, armed men surround them. The deal was a trap. They want the cash and the crew. This ain't a trade. Hey, just curious, your guys outnumber mine. Mike had set up an ambush, catching the enemy off guard. In the chaos, Leo grabs the cash and runs. The leader's captured alive. Facing the man who tormented him for 2 years, Job doesn't hesitate. How you want to handle him? Yeah, Job, what's the play? After 2 years in captivity, Job's finally free. Back at the bar, Sugar cracks open an 18-year-old bottle to celebrate. But Job's exhausted, wanting his cut to retire in a new city. He doesn't know the money's gone. Leo's long gone with it. After 2 years, Job's left with nothing. Brock and his team show up. They found Mike's blood in Rebecca's car. She was pregnant, and the shocker, Mike's the father. Cornered, Mike's arrested for suspected murder. A flashback rewinds 3 months. Rebecca found a drug lab and asked Mike for help. They hit the enemy's turf, planning to burn it down. Get down! They torch the place, but Mike's badly injured. Rebecca drives him to the cabin, nursing him back to health. They hook up, but Mike never knew she was pregnant. No matter how he explains, Brock won't buy it. When Proctor hears, he storms the station, ready to avenge Rebecca in the cell. But Brock stops him. Even as mayor, Proctor can't run wild in the station. As they argue, a woman, Dowlin, an FBI agent sent to investigate the serial killings, steps in. She assures Proctor she'll find the real killer. Defeated, Proctor leaves. Dowlin questions Mike. Her experience tells her he's not the killer, but she holds off releasing him, knowing he'll hunt the murderer himself. The next day, another serial killing hits town, all victims gutted alive, matching the pattern. That night, Mike's cleared and leaves the station. Back at the cabin, it's engulfed in flames. Proctor was there. Though Mike's not the killer, he kicks him out and demands he find the real culprit and bring them back alive. At a secret factory, high-quality drugs are shipped nationwide. The manager, Gallon, is an Aryan Brotherhood member. Proctor walks in with his assistant. Proctor's the real boss. Gallon's been running side hustles, so Proctor's here to teach him a lesson. As mayor, to avoid exposure, he funnels assets through his gang. His empire now stretches overseas, dominating the market. Carrie's secretly scoping out Proctor's factory. Her late husband wanted him taken down, so she's hell-bent on wrecking his business to clean up Banshee. That night, she sneaks in alone and torches all the goods. The next day, a mob boss meets Proctor. Their screw-up led to the factory fire, so they tie the guy in charge of the warehouse to a tree as an explanation. The boss tosses his son-in-law the car keys, ordering him to handle it. After a mental struggle, the son-in-law kills his own brother. That night, Galen drinks alone, drowning his sorrows. His father-in-law walks in, done being a lapdog. Galen does something horrific. Elsewhere, Mike and Dawson team up to investigate, zeroing in on Declan, a guy with a rap sheet for assaulting women. Dawson uses her contacts to dig into a victim's past, visiting her house. The woman claims she and Declan were lovers, pregnant with his kid, but her parents disapproved. After his arrest, they never saw each other again. Dawson smells a lie. As she's about to leave, something wild happens.
I heard you were looking for me.
The woman strolls into the station but pulls a crazy stunt. Don't do it. She's part of a creepy cult, manipulated into provoking the cops. Meanwhile, Dawson's bound hand and foot by the serial killer. He picks young women to sacrifice to his gods. Mike's crew hunts for Dawson but finds no leads. Mike remembers Dawson's daughter and checks her phone for clues. At the bar, Job recovers the call log, pinpointing the killer's location. At the ritual site, as the killer prepares to gut Dawson, Mike and Brock arrive, nabbing him on the spot. Dawson takes him out herself. Proctor shows up, emotional, thanking Mike for catching Rebecca's murderer. In another city, Leo tries logging into his computer but gets the password wrong. No need for that hassle. Seeing Job, Leo begs to trade cash for his life. But Job's already drained his accounts, transferring it all to himself. Instead of killing him, Job pins his own identity on Leo. Having crossed countless organizations, Job's got enemies everywhere. Now, Leo, branded as Job, faces a world hunting him. You can't do this to me. Dawson questions the woman, uncovering a shock. Rebecca wasn't killed by that guy. The real killer's still out there. Mike races to Proctor's mansion. Proctor's factory faces another disaster. Galen and his crew raid it, stealing everything. Proctor's assistant heads to the mob's turf alone to reclaim what's theirs. The man sits calmly, unfazed by the thugs, slowly removing his glasses. After retrieving the goods, Proctor meets a smuggling syndicate, ready to deliver as promised, but as they check the truck.
Hi.
As long as we all whipping our shit out.
Carrie appears, not to steal but to warn. Banshee's not their playground. She sparks a rift between Proctor and the buyers, as she leads Proctor away. Hey, gorgeous. You think I'll let you walk? Nope, I don't. The cops join in, hitting Proctor with force. They take his car and bolt. Out of options, Proctor and Carrie take down their enemies. Bitch! Proctor knows the syndicate won't let him off.
What then?
There'll be time to negotiate.
Mike, finding Rebecca's necklace in Proctor's basement, suspecting he killed her. Proctor denies it. Both turn to the assistant. Mike hands him over to Proctor and leaves. The assistant killed Rebecca, thinking she'd cause trouble for Proctor. Proctor doesn't hesitate, snapping his neck. With everything settled, Mike and Job return to the bar, ready to leave Banshee for a fresh start. Job leaves Sugar a black bag full of cash, the last thing he gives him. After goodbyes, Job walks out. The smuggling syndicate hits Proctor's mansion. Ready, he faces death calmly. The film ends with Mike leaving Banshee alone. That's the full rundown of Banshee. What do you think? Good stuff.